welcome. You're watching the NewsHour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. It's been a week since violence rocked the Hubli town of Karnataka. It's a story that sadly remained horribly underreported. But now a pattern is beginning to emerge to what happened on the 16th of April. Of the 100 people who have been arrested so far for raising murderous slogans and unleashing violence are 4 leaders of the AIMIM. Remember, this was a riot where a police station was attacked and policemen beaten to pulp, even as murderous slogans asking for the beheading of a man accused of making a derogatory post against Islam were being chanted. In fact, Now Times Now has pieced together the events of that horrific night. Can you imagine that in the 21st century, in a state like Karnataka, there was a mob of 100 plus chanting Gustakh-e-Nabi ki ek hi saza, sar tan se juda, sar tan se juda. And everyone seems to be strangely quiet about it. Who was responsible? How did this crowd turn up? And how was this murderous mobilization done in a matter of minutes? Sources have now told Times Now exactly what happened. Remember that within minutes of that offending post going up and a complaint being filed, the man responsible, Abhishek Hiremat, had already been arrested. But despite that, a mob was mobilized by these AIMIM leaders. They circulated WhatsApp messages that said, an arrest is not enough. Harsher punishment must be given to those who had dared to insult Islam. With the result that there was a full-fledged riot that was birthed, and all of this confirmed not by anyone in government or the BJP, but by a congressman who was also present at that spot.
बोल रहे हैं कि हम भीड़ को काबू में कर रहे थे, तो पुलिस लोग ये उनके फ़ोन कॉल रिकॉर्ड से ये इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रहा है. वहाँ पर क्या मैसेज के जरिए बुलाया गया है या फ़ोन कॉल करके बुलाया गया है. हम तहकीकात किए कि आप किस आधार पे उनको उधर अरेस्ट कर रहे हैं. तो लोग बोले कि कुछ ग्रुप मैसेजेस गए हैं, कुछ कॉल गई हैं, लेकिन भीड़ कौन लाया, उधर भीड़ कैसे ही, ये पुलिस तफ्तील से डिटेल में जाना चाहिए. तो फिर मिला के पुलिस से मैं ये सुनने में आ रहा है कि लोगों ने ग्रुप मैसेज किया, कुछ लोगों को फ़ोन किए, कुछ लोग 20-20, 25-25 लोगों को फ़ोन किया. तो पुलिस से हमें फर्स्ट इंफॉर्मेशन के जरिए मालूम पड़ा.
Even as the investigation proceeds and the hidden hand, the unseen hand of the AIMIM emerges, the Chief Minister has also hinted that these riots were anything but spontaneous. They were well planned, premeditated, and directed at plunging the state into chaos. With the number of arrests going up, is it now clear that it is the AIMIM that was the unseen hand working behind the scenes?
ಹುಬ್ಬಳ್ಳಿ ಗಲಭೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿರುವಂಥ ಗಲಭೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಪಿರಸಿ ಇದೆ. ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಭಾಳ ಗಂಭೀರವಾಗಿ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಶಕ್ತಿಗಳ ಹುನ್ನಾರು ಕುಮ್ಮಕ್ಕ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಅರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಅವ್ರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಹೇಳಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಪೊಲೀಸರು ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕೆಲವೇ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದರ ಹಿಂದಿರುವಂಥ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಸಂಘಟನೆಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಬಯಲು ಎಳಿತೀವಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಕಠಿಣವಾದ ಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ಕಾನೂನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP, joins us along with Abhas Maldihar. He's an author. Qamar Zaman Chaudhary, leader of the Congress. Shahid Ali, advocate and president of United Muslims Front. My first question is to you, Dr. Abdul Manan, national spokesperson of the AIMIM. Why should your leaders not be booked under the Public Safety Act or the National Security Act?
It is conspiracy of BJP against the MIM. MIM never believe in violence. And our people are innocent in the Karnataka. It is failure of Karnataka government. The question is who started unrest in the country.
How is the Karnataka government responsible? How is Karnataka government responsible if you've got members of your party, sir, named members of your party who are now in jail? And right now there are just 4, including the husband of your sitting corporator. There is a congressman who is saying that your men circulated group messages and said, come, arrest is not enough. More needs to be done. What more did they want? Public beheading?
You can arrest anybody in the country because you have government in the Karnataka. But MIM never believe in violence and our people are not responsible for this violence.
Mr. Manan, Dr. Manan, आप मेरे को बस एक चीज बताइए. You are saying the BJP is arresting anyone they want because they are in government. कांग्रेस वाला आपके पार्टी के खिलाफ क्यों बोल रहा है? That congressman was present at the spot. He is saying your men are the ones who are provoking the crowd. कांग्रेस वाला आपके खिलाफ क्यों बोल रहा है?
Congress is also a soft Hindutva team in the country. So everybody making conspiracy against the MIM.
Mr. Manan, this has to be the most laughable thing that you have said so far, that the BJP is against you in Karnataka, the Congress against you in Karnataka, and the Congress and BJP are conspiring together against you in Karnataka. But the men who are at the spot, who are telling people, Sar tan se juda, they are the ones who are innocent. Everyone else is a conspirator, but the men actually saying, let's go ahead and behead a man, are the victims. We are supposed to believe that your people are the victims.
It is the agenda of BJP and RSS that they provoke Muslims first and get punished by them by the head of police. The question is who started this thing? A controversial post by Hindu Sena, Hindu Tiger, stated that Bhagat was flying on the mast and police was unable to arrest him. So angry people collect gathered, a mob gathered and police was unable to control.
Okay, Shehzad Poonawala, congratulations. You have finally managed to strike a pact with the Congress in Karnataka. And the glue that holds you two together apparently is the AIMIM. Everyone together is conspiring against the AIMIM.
Yes. Conspiring against MIM.
Okay, let him. Sir, everyone will be shocked. Everyone will be shocked because apparently Congress is also Hindutva, BJP is also Hindutva, and you are the truly secular party. Shehzad Poonawala.
Yes, we are.
Just a second, Shehzad Poonawala.
Ironically, with the Ironically, it's the only party which has a name of a religion within its party name, but it is secular. Anyways, Padmaja, first of all, the unseen hands, very visible agenda is for all to see. This was mentioned in the hijab verdict by the Karnataka High Court, that there were certain hands trying to create social unrest, and you know how the role of the PFI and the CFI was there. In the Bengaluru riots of 2020, a Congress MLA, a Dalit MLA was targeted, and later it was discovered that how a colleague of his in the Congress party himself was behind the mobilizing of these riots. And then we have seen that time and again, none of these riots are achanak, they are ayojit. They are not spontaneous but sponsored, not organic but organized and pre-planned. But Padmacha, let me make a larger point today. And the larger point today is that for far too long, this right to be provoked has been given as a fundamental right to certain people. Just think about it, that procession of Hindus going around a mosque becomes provocative, but a lynching rally is not. Jai Shri Ram is a provocative and communal slogan, but Gustakh-e-Nabi ki ek hi saza, sar tan se juda, is a kosher statement. And therefore, I ask one question of the MIM spokesperson before you move on to somebody else. Can in any circumstances the death of Kamlesh Tiwari be justified? Can he come out and unequivocally condemn the killing of Kamlesh Tiwari? Can he come out and condemn the killing of the Danish cartoonist who put out a picture of the Prophet, peace be upon him? He will not be able to come out and say that no, this is not justified under any circumstances. This is because they believe that Sar Tan Se Juda is a legitimate punishment for anybody who is doing blasphemy, and therefore Congress MLAs, MIM MLAs, when Samuel Paty was killed, did blasphemy rallies, but unfortunately the so-called intolerance lobby, the lobby that says not in my name, the lobby that speaks about upholding constitutional values, goes selectively silent when it comes to this, and they give cover fire for this action-reaction, they have a right to be provoked theory.
Shahid Ali, what is the provocation that allows for calls of beheading? And again, let me stress that this is after the arrest has been made. The man who provoked is under arrest and people are being mobilized to come kill him. And this is being done by a mainstream political party.
Madam Jha, the matter is under investigation and we will not come in the way of investigation. Our firm belief is that whosoever is violating the law should be punished as per law, instant action should be taken. But one submission is always there, as also Justice A.P. Shah said yesterday, that in India nowadays, there is a campaign against Muslims everywhere. In media, outside the media, there is a campaign against Muslims. When we talk about Dharam Sansad and the speeches made therein, no one takes action against them. Even the Delhi police has filed an affidavit.
Everyone in Dharam Sansad was acted against. Can we please stick to the point? Surely you cannot get away by whataboutery, much as the Dharam Sansad was reprehensible and disgusting. Remember, over here, there was actual violence, Mr. Ali. There was actual violence. When you see the writing, you are going to make these facile comparisons. But the difference in Hubballi, there was actual violence. Policemen were beaten. Arson happened. Stone pelting took place. And in that reprehensible Dharam Sansad, there were calls to violence. But in Hubli, there were calls to beheading and actual physical violence took place.
Who has stopped the government to take action against them?
Taking action, no.
We are not stopping.
Taking action. Action is being taken, but nobody is going to recognize that this was pre-planned, and which is the political party behind it.
Did I not show the mirror to those people, those who are seeking action against only one set of people, not against others?
Who are these people seeking one action? Actually, if you want to show the mirror to people asking for one-sided action, you sir should look in the mirror. You should look in the mirror.
Are these organizations strengthening the peace and harmony of India?
Yes.
Are these organizations strengthening the unity of India? No one should,
5 seconds,
no one should bifurcate this India. This great India, please.
Just a small comment, Padmaja, before we move on. Shahid Ali is a lawyer of some repute and you have the MIM representative. Please ask them one question. Do they believe that if somebody blasphemes or insults the Prophet, and however painful it might be even for me, should the punishment be death for that person, yes or no? Or do they unequivocally condemn Gustakh-e-Nabi ki ek hi saza, sar tan se juda? I want them to answer this question
Mr.
honestly,
Ali,
without any preconditions, but if, etc., conditions.
Mr. Ali, go on.
We believe in law. We have absolute system in India, absolute legal system, criminal legal system. We have punishment provided under section 153A and other sections as well. We believe that law is sufficient to take care of. I think this is my answer to Mr. Poonawala's question.
Then the chanting of these slogans, or rallies in favor of those who have taken punishment for blasphemy, example, the killers of Samuel Paty or the killers of the Danish cartoonist,
I think Mr.
that should be condemned unequivocally. But you come here and call it a BJP RSS plot. Why?
I think
Why do you come here and call it a BJP RSS Congress plot?
No, I think you have not followed me. But
Sir, I have followed you and I followed what I have followed your double speak
why
also.
no action should be taken against those people? Those
So
who
action is
chant
being taken.
several kind of, sir, मुल्लाओं को गोली मारो, काटे जाएंगे, धर्म संसद में different kind of stories are being played.
So you're saying because of that this happened? Again, action, reaction,
they should not be
provocation
punished.
theory.
They should not. They should go scot-free. There you will not talk about the law.
But who
What we
has
are
gone
seeking,
scot
that has got law of
free?
land, action
Every
should be
single
taken.
incident that you are quoting, Mr.
What we are
Ali,
seeing is
action has
law
been
should be
taken.
That's all.
Action has been taken, and let's be unequivocal about it. Action
has
should
not
be taken. That being
If
said,
action would have
where
been
is
taken,
the
then a
victim
person-
card going
then
to
a
stop
person or
Dr.
like
Abdul
Mr.
Manan
would not have
when you
said so.
have now evidence on day one? When we spoke about the presence of AIMIM members on the spot where calls to violence were being given, your party said we were asking for peace. If everyone was asking for peace, sir, how was mobilization being done online? Where people were being told, come to the police station, gather here in large numbers, arrest is not enough, more needs to be done. What kind of peace call was that, Dr. Manan?
BJP that first probe Muslims and then punish them by the police and police case. Question is, who started unrest by hoisting a flag, flying over the mosque? You people, Modi media and RSS and BJP
You
are
haven't
trying
provided
to provoke
proof of
Muslim
that yet.
by hoisting a flag on mosque. And
Dr. Manan, there is
making
only so far you can go by engaging in whataboutery and name calling. First of all, in the case of Hubli, there was no flag hoisting. There was a morphed image, and let me again underline, the man responsible was rightly in jail. He had already been put in jail at the time that your people started provoking. So you are basically saying that, oh, somebody circulates a cartoon, we will ask for him to be beheaded. Are you sitting here on national TV and trying to justify calls of beheading a man?
no, I am not justifying
Then
this
what do you
thing,
mean by
but
who
is
started
failure
it?
of
So
Karnataka
somebody
government.
starts it by making a stupid cartoon. You say you started it, so now we'll behead you. What kind of ridiculous justification? You're not even putting up an excuse right now. You're saying, oh, he started it, so then we wanted to finish him.
Why accuse that AIMIM is not responsible for this violence? The BJP is
Your
responsible
men
for
are
this
responsible,
violence.
and this is an allegation by a congressman. Altaf Haloor is the district Congress president, and his exact words were, they started sending group messages and made phone calls. Some individuals telephoned 20 to 25 people each, naming the AIMIM.
Upscale to his Muslim friends, and then Muslim student started this. So Abshek is responsible, and first of all, timely action should be taken against the Abshek. But BJP government and police was unable to.
What timely action? He was already arrested. Okay, Abbas Maldehar. Now the excuse being given by Dr. Manan is that yes, even if phone calls were made, these were phone calls asking people to come and support. These were peaceful phone calls. Everything was peaceful, but who actually gave those calls, nobody is willing to own up to them. Everyone was peaceful till the end, but the riot just happened. It was a peaceful riot. A riot consisting of peaceful people.
And there is transparency of Muslims.
The point is very clear. We have clearly seen the evidence which have been suppressed through the Congress leader itself, that what he is speaking. And at the same time, if we just go back a bit into the history of AIMIM directly, and then we find that this was a party which was completely siding with the separation of India, and the Qasim Rizvi was the man who eventually led to the massacre of so many Hindus, and that is about the past of the party itself. And we see we can see a regular pattern into how the things have surfaced in the 1920s. In 1920, one panelist was talking about a law, that law will take care of it. But there was incidents back in 1927 when a book was written, Rangila Rasool, as a response to a book which came out insulting Devi Sita. And then the 153A section was put on the person, the publisher. But after he came out, after the case got over, someone tried to assassinate him, and he was assassinated. And then, but the point which was found that somehow, because 153 is getting ineffective and the harsher rule is not being applied to the man, then that is how they bring in 295A. So that is about the history. Now, when we just look at the pattern, how it is crawling on right now, there's a website called Mobilized, which is a very famous portal, and I think a lot of people are very well aware about it. And it is full of the false stories about the Hindu gods and goddesses. And I'm sure that no one has gone on to ask to the Milli Gazette office that, we will do something this for you or something like that.
I'm sorry, Abbas, I have to interrupt you because we have some issue with your audio right now. How do you respond, Qamar Zaman Chaudhary, to the AIMIM's defense saying, we were only doing things peacefully, Congress and BJP are tying up to besmirch our reputation?
Well, the entire world knows how MIM and BJP complement each other. You know, where the MIM goes, the BJP is sure to polarize the electorate. So that's what they are doing. BJP is in a mat in Karnataka and they are trying to prop up the MIM to gain their advantage electorally. Having said that, the basic thing that Shahzadji has, I am very sorry, he has got a selective amnesia. He forgot to mention about what incidents happened during the release of this movie Padmavati and what happened to M.F. Hussain's painting. These are also something like a blasphemy issues involved out there. But then we as a Congress party, we stand against bigotry from any sides. Be it from the Hindutva side or be from the MIM side.
That is lovely. Your highfalutin words are very impressive, except you did not have seemed to realize that for provoking these riots, 6 Congress workers have also been arrested. Mushtaq Mudgal, Rafiq Nadar, Abu Bijapuri, Iqbal Sandalwala, Nizam Manyar and Sadiq Jajju.
Congress party will disown them. Padmaja, you read out 100 more names. It doesn't matter to me. But the Congress party's ideology is not so weak to be at ransom because of these 5-6 people who have been arrested out here. The basic point out here is that
AIMIM is wrong when they provoke riots. Your people just happen to be there. Shehzad Poonawala. Congress always stands for peace, but some in their ranks just happen to be there, whether it comes to the DJ Halli riots, whether it comes to the riots in Hubli.
Padmaja, a question must be asked कि कांग्रेस का हाथ हमेशा दंगाइयों के साथ क्यों? Whether it is Karoli, the main accused is on the run, Khargone, Jahangirpuri, they stood with the rioters. You had in recent times Rajasthan Chief Minister's Iftar Party, the main accused of the Chhabra riots was seen there. Apart from that, you have seen the kind of patronage they've extended. And whom do they have alliances with? IUML in the south, ISF in Bengal. 1 second, sir, please don't interrupt. Mr. Chaudhary, don't interrupt. Padmaja gives everyone equal enough time. Padmaja. Padmaja, can I not be interrupted when I'm making a point? I did not interrupt anybody.
Go on, yes.
Padmaja, between 2004 to 2014, Owaisi was in alliance with them. ISF has an alliance with them in Bengal. Muslim League has an alliance with them in South. And they say that they are secularists. I just want to ask one question, however. The MIM representative is here. Will MIM as a party, as a political party, because it believes in the constitution, as we are told, and not in Sharia, will it come out and say that the killing of Kamlesh Tiwari, who was killed and it was justified with the same Sar Tan Se Juda logic, without any preconditions, can MIM say that no amount of blasphemy can be ever retributed for or penalized by beheading?
Dr. Manan.
Point blank, without preconditions.
Go on, Dr.
Without
Manan.
any qualification.
Your party is responsible for the unrest in the country. Why you are escape from the topic? Why you should not condemn the Pahlu Khan murder?
This is the topic.
Why you not condemn the Ekhlaq mob lynching?
I condemn it.
Not condemn the
I condemn it.
Hoisting of
I
flag
condemn every lynching, even the ones you don't condemn.
You people are the have a hidden agenda to punish the Muslim in the country.
No, again, Dr. Manan, please do not slip in your falsehoods in the guise of an
condemn
argument. There
the
was
killing
no
of
flag hoisted at
Tiwari?
Jahangirpuri Masjid. Again, you have come on national TV and you're stating a falsehood that has been denied and disproven again and again and again. So in the course of your whataboutery, you have again inserted that falsehood. But you still haven't answered the question. Do you condemn the murders? Just answer the question.
We will always condemn the murder and murderer. But BJP condemned the murder of Pahlu Khan. BJP condemned the
Will
murder
MIM
of
condemn the killing
BJP
of Kamlesh Tiwari? Yes,
the mob
yes, you have
lynching
condemned it.
in
Yes, you have condemned it. Okay, let me
any
answer
part of the
this.
country. Always Shahzad Poonawala is trying to
Padmaja,
defeat Muslim and defame Muslims.
can I answer?
Okay.
Why?
You know, when you have your party members involved and arrested and their involvement spoken of by people not even remotely connected to the BJP, there's a point at which you can't continue to shift the blame. It's as simple as that. The fact is that these riots were planned and promoted and provoked in a way that is now only beginning to emerge. More arrests should happen. Every one of these people belongs in jail. Thank you very much, all gentlemen, for joining me.